Heart-stopping video shows the moment a man turns on a San Diego police officer with a knife moments before the officer fires a deadly shot, and that's not the only time.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife. He's got a knife. Drop the knife!
10 News launches a new investigative initiative and looks at one San Diego police officer involved in 5 different deadly shootings. But first, neighbors in Poway, they are demanding answers after they say a huge wall showed up over the ridge of their homes, seemingly overnight without warning.
Definitely kills our view. It's an eyesore now.
It looks like a prison.
They brought their complaints to 10 News anchor Derek Stahl, who figured out how the project made it through the city council without any opposition.
I've lived in the same house for 40 years.
For Aaron Jewell's entire life, he's seen rolling hillsides behind his home. But within the last week,
Definitely kills our view.
he and his Poway neighbors started seeing this.
It looks like a prison. It makes you wonder if somebody got their pockets lined to approve that.
It'll eventually be a warehouse and distribution facility on Scripps Poway Parkway called Vantage Point.
Regardless of what it looks like ultimately, it's still a gigantic monstrosity at the top of what used to be a beautiful valley.
The project is the latest addition to the Poway Business Park, which features more than 500 businesses and 18,000 employees. The city says the land has actually been designated for development since 1985, but the owners couldn't generate interest. That changed in November,
Something that's very good for Poway.
when the city agreed to rezone the land in a hearing that lasted 14 minutes and featured only one public speaker who was in support.
Motion carries unanimously.
Neighbors say they had no idea the city council was taking action on this project. The city says it notified property owners within 500 feet of the upcoming meeting. But as you can see, the only other buildings nearby are other businesses in the business park.
But not every resident is upset.
I work in a warehouse, a little bit smaller than that, but if that warehouse had to move, either I would have to move out of Poway or find another job. This way, people have jobs here.
The city says there will be trees added to help screen Vantage Point from neighbors. I'm Derek Stahl for 10 News.
Developer still needs to find a tenant for the building, but says it will open in June of 2020.
We have the latest developments on the Willows Fire that is burning in Lakeside. Crews have been making quick work of that fire. In the last hour, CAL FIRE says that containment is now up from 10 to 75%. Crews did manage to stop the fire's forward spread at about 20 acres. All evacuations have been lifted. There are no reports of injuries and no buildings were damaged. And CAL FIRE crews battled another brush fire in this very same area less than 2 weeks ago. This video shows a small brush fire on Willow Road on the 14th. CAL FIRE said it spread from a car fire that was on Willow Road. It only grew to about 7 acres before crews stopped it and contained it as well. In the meantime, crews are making progress containing that 200-acre fire that broke out yesterday in Dehesa. CAL FIRE crews stopped the wind-driven flames yesterday afternoon, and at last report, the fire was about 21% contained. No word yet on a cause. You can keep up with the very latest developments from these 2 fires as crews work towards full containment with the free 10 News mobile app.
And winds helped fuel the Dehesa fire yesterday, but today, meteorologist Angelica Campos tracking the potential for thunderstorms. That could be more trouble too.
That's right. And the air is very dry because of those Santa Ana winds yesterday, so it's going to take some time for the storm to actually produce any rain around the county. We already see the green. You can see those bands depicting the movement, and this is more of a backdoor system coming from the east, moving westward, so the bands will be expanding closer to areas like Ramona and eventually near the coastline, but again, is going to take some time. Most of the showers now showing up in Mount Laguna, in Campo, and we're expecting to see more of it as we continue into the overnight hours. So you can see the hourly breakdown here increasing after 9 p.m., but it's going to vary depending on location. The best areas for showers and thunderstorms will be mountains and deserts. I'll pinpoint exactly how much rain is in the forecast all the way through tomorrow morning.
Thank you. All right, some breaking news. Police and fire crews are swarming the scene after a report of a suspicious device in Otay Mesa.
Derek Stahl is in the 10 News Live Center right now with the latest details on this. Derek?
Good evening. Both Customs and Border Protection and San Diego Police are responding to this one. I want to show you kind of where this is happening. It's happening not far from the 905 where it meets the 125, just a little bit north of the border. Let's take a live look at Sky 10 because Sky 10 just arrived at the scene, is giving us an aerial view. This is all unfolding at some sort of a customs facility where they impound vehicles. Now, San Diego Police tells us that this is not their incident. They're not the lead agency, but they have filled us in on some of the details. They say at about 2:15 this afternoon, they got a call from a Border Patrol agent asking them to assist them with this suspicious device investigation. Now, apparently there was a Border Patrol agent who was checking out one of these impounded vehicles and noticed some sort of suspicious device, and that Border Patrol agent basically sounded the alarm. STPD was brought in. They brought their canine dogs. They also brought in the bomb squad. They set up a perimeter and they're basically checking this all out. I want to show you some video that we took just a short time ago from some ground video that we have of the scene. And if we come back out live, there is a bit of a traffic impact. The traffic impact is happening on the 905 and this exit. It's the eastbound exit right by the 125. That's because all of the activity is happening right here off of Airway Road. So as we get more information, we'll of course pass it along to you. But for now, I'm Derek Stahl in the 10 News Live Center.
All right, Derek, thank you. Granny flats could soon spring up around the county like flowers after rain. That's because of a new plan aimed at streamlining the permitting process and tackling the housing crisis. Our 10 News reporter Jennifer Dela Cruz was there when county leaders unveiled the plan, and she joins us now live. Jen, they are making it easier to get this started.
Yeah, Steve, all the plans are already drawn out for you, and the county is waiving a big portion of those fees, just trying to make it more affordable to make it in San Diego. Homeowners in San Diego are making the most of their land.
When I was purchasing, I was looking for a place that either I could put something on or had something already.
The granny flat trend has been on the rise in the city since 2016. In just 2 years, the number of permits increased by 1,000%.
Cost of living here is brutal. It's really high, all the way around.
There's now a new incentive to build granny flats around the county, pre-approved plans and no permit fees. Tom Tanner recently added a granny flat of his own to his property in Lakeside.
One, I wanted the extra income. We had the space. We have a little over an acre.
He chose a manufactured home, and it's already making him money.
And pretty much overnight, you look out across your property and there's another house sitting there. So it happens fast. Got runners in there now, really good runners. It gives us enough to hopefully beat down some of the taxes.
The county rolled out 2 designs for homeowners to choose from, a 600 or 1,200 square foot unit, saving about $30,000 by avoiding design and permit fees. If it makes sense for you, Tanner says it's a pretty good option.
You don't necessarily come away with a huge profit, but at least you're not going backwards in the world of taxes.
The county is currently working on developing 4 other designs for homeowners to choose from, hoping the cost of living in America's finest city will be a little more affordable.
If it's doable, yeah, do it. It all comes down to the numbers, is what they can afford, how much they're going to get back. It's, you know, it's like any other investment, it's return on investment.
If you are interested in getting started on a granny flat, you can come here to the County Permit Center to apply. Your property would still need to meet zoning and health codes to be approved. Reporting live, Jennifer Dela Cruz, 10 News.
Jennifer, thank you. Here's some good news for those trying to make it in San Diego. The average price of a home in the county is down annually for the first time in 7 years. It's not a huge drop, but CoreLogic found the average price dropped about $500, and prices haven't dropped year over year since 2012. Meantime, home sales were up last month over the same time last year. And if you have a story about how you're making it in San Diego, just let us know. Send an email at tips@10news.com or on Facebook. Just search ABC 10 News.
A Navy veteran from Imperial Beach will stay in prison in Iran. Michael White's mother says that her son lost his appeal. White was convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison for insulting Iran's supreme leader. His mother now worries the U.S. government is forgetting her son. She does not have direct contact with her son and relies on people within the Swiss government who occasionally meet with White.
Water flooded the parking lot at the Del Mar Highland Shopping Center this afternoon. It's all because of this. San Diego police say an older driver was turning in the parking lot just before 3 o'clock and hit a hydrant. A shopper shot the video as water gushed from the hydrant and through the SUV. It then ran down through the parking lot. Officers say it took about an hour for water to be shut off. The water did not get inside the shopping center.
Family members of the victims of PSA Flight 182 say they are still fighting for a permanent memorial 41 years later. On this anniversary of the tragedy, loved ones gathered at the crash site to remember the 144 lives that were lost when two planes crashed over North Park.
San Diego had an innocence, and that it lost its innocence. That's September 25th, 1978, and it's never been the same.
A wreath of roses was placed at the site containing one flower for every person killed on September the 25th, 1978.